water. Okay? And that the laws that exist today, all the legislation that exists, are bilateral. They are not at all encouraging cooperation. They are, in fact, they have established a conflictual situation. Now, definitely, the building of this dam, this huge dam, is it's going to be the 10th biggest dam in the world. And just to fill it, and it is supposed to have 74 billion cubic meters. And it is going to take 4-5 years to fill up with the water coming from the Blue Nile, which means that this water is going to fill up and not go to the Aswan Dam. The terrible thing that can happen is that the water in the Aswan Dam would go down. Egypt will suffer a lack of hydroelectric thing. Egypt would lose so much water that it would lose a good percentage of its agricultural production. Egypt also faces the danger that if ever something happens, and it could happen because it is near Donga, and that is a seismic place, if there is some problem of moving, the land, and the dam collapses, Egypt is done. Okay, it will flood Egypt and a good part of the Sudan also. So Egypt is really getting very, very worried. Now, the Ethiopians are saying, we are going to go very slowly in filling the dam. And we are going, it's a dam to produce electricity. And once the water produces the huge amount of electricity for Ethiopia and its neighbors and Egypt too, if you want, the water will go back again, the same water. The production of electricity is not a consumptive thing, it is agriculture that is the fear. But Egypt is not buying that because, come on, they are going to use this water for agriculture also. The problem is that you had a meeting of international experts that said, no, it is not going to hurt Egypt if there is an understanding between the two countries that the water is not going to be used for agriculture. And they say, Egypt is receiving a lot of money from its friend in Saudi Arabia. Why don't they go desalinize like many of countries do, and why don't they go to the river Congo and build a canal that will bring as much water in the Nile as a huge amount of water into the Nile. Now, Egypt is saying, no, we are going to have another, expert to study the thing, and they are accusing Ethiopia to do that without really prior consent, of course, Ethiopia is not going to have permission from Egypt.
Okay. I know. There is a lot of questions, and okay. I'm sure everybody.
So the question is, there is a possibility to build the dam. Egypt is requesting Ethiopia to build a smaller dam.
Okay.
Not that huge thing.
Thank you.
So that could be a solution.
Thank you. And now, any of the other panelists would like to respond to that? Okay, go ahead, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. I understand your concern. Your concern may emanate from lack of information, or information about this dam are not well transmitted to Egyptians. Egyptians and the Ethiopians equally. Okay, but there is a consensus amongst Ethiopians that Nile will have to come to use for Ethiopia. Ethiopia as a source of Nile so far by the agreement of 1959 that was imposed on Ethiopia. Ethiopia had no use or has no right to use. This has to change. And we really agree. All Ethiopians, I believe, are behind this. We agree on building dams. But the issue is what kind of dams? Okay, is it this large kind of a dam that is economically feasible for Ethiopia that will benefit, or different types? Mostly, past studies have shown that about 4 small dams, not only also for the sole purpose of hydroelectric power, but for agriculture, fisheries, tourism, and of course including hydroelectric power to use. The issue is how to equitably use the Nile. Ethiopia produces 86% of it. And the rivers now you have mentioned coming from all other Africans are just less than 14%. And so Ethiopia has to have the right, actually, that can give equitable use of Nile for its own economic development. That is good. Talking about friendship between Egypt and Ethiopia, yes, politically, at the state levels, they may be stated as such, but animosity, especially since the time of Mr. Gamal Abdel Nasser, okay, the basic problems, ethnic problems, the creation of civil conflicts in Ethiopia starts from the use of Nile. And that was imposed on Ethiopia really by the Egyptian government. The Eritrean separatist movements were created by financing, training, and arming that was coming from. The whole idea of the regions around there were to weaken Ethiopia. Ethiopia should really stand her ground in the use of Nile, but equitable use for up and lower stream countries or riparian states.
I'm getting from the audience that signal. So, okay.